My dear friend, if there is one phrase my students repeated until it became a melody in their lives, it was this: divine order. Two simple words, at once quiet and thunderous, containing the entire architecture of a well-lived life. Yet these words often arrive wrapped in circumstances that look anything but orderly. A closed door, a delayed plan, a relationship that fizzles just when you were certain it would blossom. In those moments, the human mind whispers, "Something has gone wrong." But the divine simply smiles and says, "Something is going right, just not the way you expected." You see, the human tendency is to confuse delay with denial. You want your good to come wrapped neatly in your preferred timeline, delivered on your schedule, in the packaging you chose. But divine order rarely follows the maps you draw. It follows the blueprint of your soul, which has far better taste. People often ask me, "Miss Shinn, why does it take so long for my good to appear?" And I would gently remind them that the universe is not slow. We are simply impatient. There is no rushing a sunrise, and no amount of tugging will open a rosebud before it is ready. In spiritual matters, timing is not a trivial detail. It is the stage upon which the miracle enters. One of my favorite truths to share was this: what is yours by divine right cannot be taken, delayed, or denied. And what is not yours cannot be forced, even with all the willpower in the world. Today, people live at a pace that would have made even the most energetic flapper of my era faint into her fan. You measure life in notifications and deadlines, but Spirit does not schedule miracles according to your Google Calendar. It moves with precision, elegance, and, dare I say, a sense of humor. Let me tell you a story, not from my 1920s class in New York, but from your modern world. A young woman had her heart set on a job. She practiced her affirmations, visualized the office, and rehearsed her acceptance speech. But the company hired someone else. She felt devastated, but a month later, that same company folded. Quietly, suddenly, and completely. The job she tried so desperately to force would have left her unemployed and anxious. Instead, she was gently but firmly guided to apply for a different position that aligned with her calling and led to an entirely new path of abundance. Was it delay, or was it design? The universe is a master architect. It builds your life with the precision of a symphony, every pause purposeful, every rest essential to the beauty of the movement. The human mind sees only the empty measures, the silent bars. But Spirit hears the melody forming. Whenever a student complained to me about a delay, I would ask, "Have you blessed the situation?" Blessing is the act of stepping out of fear and into faith. It is the spiritual equivalent of clearing a tangled path so your good can finally reach you. When something appears blocked, bless it. When things move slowly, bless them. When you feel you've been forgotten, bless that feeling too. The moment you bless a situation, you rise above it. And from that higher level, the next step appears. I often said, never look at the shadow, look at the light. A delay is nothing more than a shadow, temporary, passing, unable to dim the brilliance of what is coming. Spirit rearranges your path with exquisite intention. While you are fretting at the front door, the universe may be opening a gate you never knew existed. And so, dear listener, let us explore this divine order together. Let us understand why life reroutes you, pauses you, shifts you, not as punishment, but as preparation. Once you see the purpose behind delay, you will cease calling anything late. You will call it what it truly is, right on time. The strange precision of delays, detours, and closed doors. My dear friend, let us look more closely at those curious moments when life seems to put you on pause. You may call them delays, but in truth, they are often perfect alignments, simply hidden beneath an inconvenient wrapping. The most astonishing thing about divine order is that it rarely announces itself in bright lights. It whispers, it arranges, it moves people, opportunities, and even obstacles with the sly elegance of a master chess player. You only understand the move after it's made. I once told a student, "You never lose anything unless it is replaced by something better." In my day, that statement startled people. Today, it still does, even in an age where you embrace manifesting videos, positive psychology, and all manner of spiritual insights. Human beings remain wonderfully consistent across the centuries. You want your good, and you want it now. But spirit loves a dramatic reveal. It prepares behind the scenes, like a playwright rearranging the stage for the next act. Let me share a story from your modern world, for the laws of spirit operate the same, whether the calendar says it is 1925 or 2025. A man applied for a mortgage to buy what he believed was his dream home. He had planned every detail, the furniture, the garden, even the color of the front door. But the bank rejected his application, twice. He felt humiliated. He had declared, affirmed, visualized, and still the answer seemed to be no. But divine order does not speak in no. It speaks in the language of not this, not yet. 3 months later, the housing market shifted dramatically. Prices dropped. The property he had been chasing fell through for the previous buyer, and it reappeared at a significantly lower price. He reapplied, approved effortlessly. He moved in, furnished it, and discovered that the delay had not been punishment. It had been protection. While he was busy insisting on the timing, Spirit was working on the pricing. You see how elegantly life aligns itself when you allow it? Another woman I heard of planned to launch her business on a specific date. She had bought the domain name, created the branding, and even scheduled her announcement posts. But the day before her launch, her laptop crashed completely. All her files vanished. Frustration, anger, despair. She felt all of it. But her inner voice whispered, "Wait." 1 week later, a celebrity posted about the exact problem her business solved. Suddenly, thousands of people were looking for the service she provided. She launched in that window, and her business took off instantly. Had she launched on her original date, her message would have been drowned out by the noise. The delay created visibility. Spirit does not deal in inconvenience. It deals in alignment. When my students asked, "But how do I know if something is divine order or simply bad luck?" I would reply, "There is no bad luck. There is only the appearance of disorder on the way to perfect order. Nothing is random. You are never being punished. You are always being positioned. But positioning requires patience, a virtue most people treat like an unwanted house guest. In your modern world, patience is nearly extinct. You want overnight delivery, instant answers, and immediate feedback. But divine order still works in its own exquisite rhythm, like a violinist who refuses to play faster simply because the audience is restless. When you stop resisting timing, timing works for you. Your delays are not delays. They are synchronizations. Your detours are not detours. They are redirections to something better suited to your soul's blueprint. And your closed doors? They are the universe's polite way of saying, "My dear, that is far too small for you." If you could see what Spirit is preparing, you would never question another pause again. But faith is not seeing the final plan. It is trusting the plan while standing in the hallway. And so, when life pauses you, do not panic. Do not assume something has gone wrong. Say instead, divine order is arranging the details. You would be amazed how many situations resolve themselves the moment you release your fear and surrender your timeline. The truth is simple. Your good is not late. It is aligning. Sometimes the universe must move people, rearrange circumstances, open hidden pathways, and close unnecessary ones before your blessing can arrive at your door with perfect precision. And when it does arrive, it will make such sense that you will wonder how you ever doubted the delay. Intuition, inner guidance, and the quiet signs of perfect timing. My dear friend, if divine order is the architecture of your life, then intuition is the lantern that shows you where to place your next step. People often ask, "How do I know if I am being guided or if I am simply overthinking?" The answer is beautifully simple. Intuition arrives quietly, with no drama, no fear, no urgency. It feels like a gentle knowing, as soft as a silk ribbon slipping through your fingers. In my own time, intuition revealed itself during the simplest moments, while walking down Fifth Avenue or stirring sugar into my tea. In your modern world, That same whisper appears as you scroll, drive, or search for a misplaced charging cable. The settings have changed, but the voice has not. Intuition never shouts. Fear shouts. Doubt argues. Overthinking exhausts you. Intuition feels like a subtle yes in the center of your being. Your inner guidance is always working in harmony with divine order. It knows when something is not ready, not right, or not aligned, long before your logical mind catches up. When you feel an unexplained hesitation, that is intuition asking you to pause. When you feel an unexpected sense of ease, that is intuition signaling it is time to move. Let me tell you a story from the world you live in today. A young man wanted to invest his savings in a new business. On paper, everything looked perfect. The numbers added up, the plan was sound, and every expert he spoke to encouraged him. But each time he tried to finalize the deal, he felt a quiet pressure in his chest, a gentle nudge that said, "Not yet." He tried to ignore it. He wanted to be brave. He wanted to act decisively. But that whisper persisted. 3 weeks later, new information came out that completely changed the landscape of the industry he was about to enter. Had he invested earlier, he would have lost everything. By listening to the small voice he could not explain, he protected his future. That is divine order, speaking through intuition. Another woman, living in your era of airport lines and online bookings, planned a trip that kept getting postponed. Each time she rearranged her schedule, something else shifted. Her flight was canceled. A work project demanded her attention. A friend needed her help. She felt frustrated, as if life were conspiring against her. Then one day, she received an invitation to an event she had not known existed. It happened to be scheduled for the same week she originally planned to be away. She decided to attend, and at that event, she met the person who later became her business partner and helped build her dream company. Had she traveled earlier, she would have missed the connection entirely. Divine order often hides within what appears to be inconvenience. Intuition feels the truth before the mind sees the reason. People ask, "How do I strengthen this inner guidance?" The answer is both simple and elegant. Become still and listen, not for voices, not for dramatic signs, but for the feeling of rightness that rises quietly beneath the noise of thought. The world you live in today is filled with noise. Notifications, opinions, endless choices, all pulling at your attention. But intuition does not compete with noise. It waits patiently for you to remember that the universe is not outside you, it is within you, always communicating through subtle feeling. Your subconscious mind, the great servant of the divine, guides you continually. It nudges you toward your good and away from anything that would cause you unnecessary difficulty. When you trust these nudges, your path becomes easier, smoother, and more aligned. I have often said, divine guidance is like a wise parent, gently redirecting a child who is about to wander into trouble. The redirection may feel inconvenient in the moment, but it is always protective and always purposeful. And here is something you must remember. Every time you follow your intuition, even in small things, you strengthen your alignment with divine order. You learn the rhythm of spirit. You understand the timing of your life, not with your intellect, but with your inner knowing. Eventually, you reach a place where even delays bring you peace, because you feel the perfection behind them. You begin to say, with calm certainty, "I do not know why yet, but I know this is right." And that is when life becomes almost magical. Paths open, opportunities appear, people arrive exactly when needed. The unseen realms of spirit begin to work in your favor with astonishing precision. Intuition and divine order walk hand in hand. One reveals the step, the other arranges the path. My dear friend, let us now speak of one of life's most misunderstood blessings, the closed door. Human beings take closed doors very personally. You interpret them as rejection, failure, or punishment. But Spirit has no interest in punishing you. It is far too occupied with guiding you. Every closed door is a form of protection, a quiet mercy, a gentle redirection away from something that would have hindered you, drained you, or distracted you from your divine design. I often said, nothing is taken from you unless it is being replaced by something better. And that is not a poetic idea. It is spiritual law. When you encounter a closed door, your first impulse may be to push harder. You try to force your way in, convinced that the opportunity slipping away is the only opportunity. This is the human error, believing that your limited view is the complete picture. But divine order sees the entire path, from beginning to end, like a map already drawn. There was once a man who believed he had found the love of his life. Every detail seemed perfect, every moment enchanted in that rare way romance sometimes appears. He had decided, this is the one, this is my future. But suddenly, without warning, the relationship ended. The woman said she needed time, clarity, space, all the familiar phrases that do little to soothe a broken heart. The man begged, affirmed, and tried to manifest her return, but nothing worked. Months later, completely by chance, he met someone else, a person whose presence felt like peace. There was no drama, no fear, no uncertainty, and as their connection deepened, he realized something astonishing. Had the first relationship continued, he would have missed the partnership that truly aligned with his soul. The closed door had been kindness in disguise. Spirit had not taken love from him. It had removed the lesser love to make room for the greater one. This happens far more often than you realize. A job you are denied protects you from the stress you never saw coming. A business deal that falls apart clears the way for the offer that could change your life. A friend who drifts away frees you from an energy that could not travel with you into your next chapter. You think you are losing something. In truth, you are being spared. Let me tell you another story from your modern world. A woman planned to open a physical store. She spent months gathering products, building her brand, decorating her location. But right before her grand opening, a structural issue with the building forced her to postpone, then postpone again, until she finally had to abandon the lease entirely. She felt heartbroken. She had prayed, affirmed, visualized. Why was this happening? 2 years later, she launched an online version of the same business. It grew rapidly, reached customers internationally, and became far more profitable than the physical store ever could have been. Had she opened the shop, she would have been tied to rent, foot traffic, and physical limitations. The closed door was not the end of the dream. It was the protection of the dream. Divine order is often subtle, but it is never mistaken. It knows what you cannot know. It sees what you cannot see. Sometimes Spirit closes a door because the timing is wrong. Sometimes because the person involved is not yet ready. Sometimes because you are meant to grow before receiving what you asked for. And sometimes because you are aiming too low. You may want something good. Spirit wants something better. A closed door is not a spiritual failure. It is a spiritual rerouting. Nothing more, nothing less. When you accept this truth, peace floods your being. You stop knocking on doors that are not yours. You stop forcing outcomes that exhaust your spirit. You stop begging for what was never meant to stay. And then something remarkable happens. The right doors open, the right people appear, the right timing unfolds effortlessly, like a curtain rising on a stage set just for you. Divine order is not about making life easy. It is about making life aligned. And sometimes alignment requires saying no, so that a larger yes can take its place. The art of trusting what you cannot yet see. My dear friend, we have traveled far together in this lesson of divine order, and now we arrive at the quiet heart of the teaching. There comes a moment in every life when your outer circumstances appear still, unmoving, silent. You have affirmed, prayed, blessed, and released, yet nothing seems to shift. In that moment, you may wonder, has the universe forgotten me? Have my words lost their power? But I assure you, nothing could be further from the truth. In the silence, the universe is doing its finest work. It is weaving threads you cannot yet see. It is moving people who have not yet reached your path. It is aligning details that must be perfect for your good to arrive in the most effortless way. When nothing seems to be happening, that is often when everything is happening. Human beings struggle most with the unseen. You want evidence. You want the package on your doorstep. You want the email, the call, the opportunity that says, yes, it is finally your turn. But spirit works in the invisible before it reveals itself in the visible. The roots must anchor before the flower appears. This is why I often told my students, never measure your progress by appearances. The visible is the last to show. The spiritual is the first to form. Your good begins the moment you declare it, not the moment you see it. Faith is the bridge between the two. Let me offer you a story from your modern era. A young mother, exhausted and uncertain, applied for a position she believed would change her life. She interviewed beautifully. She felt intuitively that the job was hers. But she did not hear back. Days passed, then weeks. She felt forgotten. She wondered if her intuition had tricked her. But her intuition had not lied. The company had paused the hiring process because the original position was being restructured into something much more significant. When they finally reached out, they offered her not the role she had applied for, but a higher role with better pay and greater flexibility. Exactly what she needed as a mother. The silence had not been rejection. It had been refined. Divine order always brings your good in a form that fits your life, not your fears. Sometimes the blessing is simply taking longer because it is becoming better. Another man told me he had waited a year for the sale of his home. He grew impatient. He worried. He questioned the timing. Yet when the sale finally went through, it coincided precisely with a small, unexpected inheritance. The two events together gave him the freedom to relocate to another city, where he met the partner who would later become the great love of his life. Had the house been sold even a month earlier, he would have moved away before that meeting could occur. What he called delay was the divine keeping two threads aligned until the moment they could be woven into one. Once you understand the elegance of divine order, you stop trying to control the outcomes of your life. You begin to trust the choreography. You learn that every pause contains purpose, every detour carries direction, every closed door protects something sacred. And then something wonderful happens. You become peaceful. You become spacious inside yourself. You do not panic when plans shift. You do not crumble when the answer is not yet. You simply say, something better is unfolding. I may not see it now, but the universe is preparing the perfect stage. That calm expectancy is the true mark of spiritual mastery. Not the ability to force outcomes, but the ability to stand in the unknown with grace. If you ever feel afraid, remember this simple truth. What is meant for you will find you, even if it must cross oceans, rearrange timelines, or arrive through a door you never noticed before. What is not meant for you will fall away, gently or abruptly, but always for your highest good. Divine order never fails. It never forgets. It never delays without purpose. The universe has heard every word you have spoken, every prayer you have whispered, and every desire you have held quietly in your heart. It is not ignoring you. It is aligning you. And when the moment comes, when the timing is perfect and the path is clear, your good will enter your life with such ease and rightness that you will wonder why you ever worried at all. Trust the pauses. Trust the redirections. Trust the slow unfolding of your own becoming. The delay is never the end of the story. It is merely the moment the universe takes a deep breath before delivering something better than you imagined. My dear listener, may your faith be steady and your patience gentle. Divine order is already at work in your life. You need only allow it to reveal itself. If this video resonated with you, give it a like and subscribe. That way, we can continue this journey together.